Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 11, Lord Krishna's entrance into Dwarka, text number 3. Tam upashrutya ninadam tam upashrutya ninadam jagad bhaya bhaya avaham jagad bhaya bhayavaham prati udyayuhu prajaha sarvaha pratyudyayuhu praja sarva bhartr darshana lalasaha bhartr darshana lalasaha tam upashrutya ninadam jagad bhaya bhayavaham pratyudyayuhu praja sarva bhartr darshana lalasaha tam upashrutya ninadam jagad bhaya bhayavaham pratyudyayuhu praja sarva bhartr darshana lalasaha tam upashrutya ninadam jagad bhaya bhayavaham pratyudyayuhu praja sarva bhartr darshana lalasa. Tam upashrutya ninadam jagad bhaya bhayavaham pratyudyayu praja sarva pratyudya sarva lalasaha tam upashritya ninadam jagad bhaya bhayavaham pratyudyayo praja sarva bhartur darshana lalasaha tam upashrutya ninadam jagad bhaya bhayavaham pratyudyayo praja sarva bhartur darshana lalasaha tam, that upashrutya, having overheard, ninadam, sound, jagad bhaya, the fear of material existence, bhayavaham, the threatening principle, prati, towards, udyayohu, rapidly proceeded, prajaha, the citizens. Sarvaha, all. Bhartar, the protector. Darshana, audience. Lalasaha, having so desired. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The citizens of Dwarka, having heard that sound which threatens fear personified in the material world, began to run towards him fast, just to have a long desired audience with the Lord, who is the protector of all devotees. Translation with repetition. The citizens of Dwarka, having heard that sound which threatens fear personified in the material world, began to run towards him fast, just to have a long desired audience with the Lord, who is the protector of all devotees. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. As already informed, the citizens of Dwarka who lived at the time of Lord Krishna's presence, there were all liberated souls who descended there along with the Lord as entourage. All were very anxious to have an audience with the Lord, although they were never separated from the Lord by spiritual contact. Just as the gopis at Vrindavana used to think of Krishna while he was away from the village for cowherding engagements, so also the citizens of Dwarka were all immersed in thought of the Lord while he was away from Dwarka to attend the battle of Kurukshetra. Some distinguished fiction writer in Bengal concluded that the Krishna of Vrindavana, that of Mathura, and that of Dwarka were different personalities. Historically, there is no truth in this conclusion. The Krishna of Kurukshetra and the Krishna of Dwarka are one and the same personality. The citizens of Dwarka were thus in a state of melancholy due to this Lord's absence from the transcendental city, as much as we are put in a state of melancholy at night because of the absence of the sun. The sound heralded by Lord Krishna was something like the heralding of the sunrise in the morning. So all the citizens of Dwarka awoke from a state of slumber because of the sunrise of Krishna, and they all hastened towards him just to have an audience. The devotees of the Lord know no one else as protector. This sound of the Lord is identical with the Lord. As we have tried to explain by the non-dual position of the Lord, the material existence of our present status is full of fear. After the four problems of material existence, namely the food problem, the shelter problem, the fear problem, and the mating problem, the fear problem gives us more trouble than the others. We are always fearful due to our ignorance of the next problem. The whole material existence is full of problems, and thus the fear problem is always prominent. This is due to our association with the illusory energy of the Lord, known as Maya or external energy. Yet, all fear is vanished as soon as there is the sound of the Lord represented by His holy name, as it was sounded by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the following 16 words. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We can take advantage of these sounds and be free from all threatening problems of material existence. Thus ends the Transcendental Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So here we are seeing another beautiful description about Lord's being present at the entrance of Dwaraka. And as we saw in the previous verse, that the white and fat bowl conch shell being gripped by the hand of Lord Krishna and sounded by him appeared to be reddened by the touch of his transcendental lips. It seemed that a white swan was playing in the stems of red lotus flowers. So we saw that as soon as this auspicious conch shell, which was blown by the Lord, the citizens of Dwaraka, a new life came to them. And that is what is being described in this verse. So basically, the residents of Dwaraka were very much dejected, very unhappy. But then, tam upashrutya ninadam. But as soon as they overheard upashrutya ninadam, the sound of conch shell. So as soon as they heard the sound, they did something. What did they do? Pratyudyayu prajasarva. So they ran towards the Lord. Now, this is a very important point. Udyayuhu rapidly proceeded. Now, as soon as they could hear the presence of the Lord by his sound, they just started to run. Now, what does this tell? This is something very important to note. That means in their heart, they are so eager to receive the Lord. They are so eagerly waiting for the Lord. So, this is one of the symptoms, someone who is very, very deeply absorbed in the thought of someone. Actually, so this is something very important to understand, that when someone is very, very eager, the way one performs activities is very, very different. So there is a nice analogy. There's a nice analogy which is made in the prayers by Vritrasura. In that he compares something very nicely, and he says, Ajata paksha iva matram khaga. So he's saying, Ajata pakshaha iva matram khagaha. So just like if you see the birds which don't have their wings yet developed, they're always waiting for their mother to bring back the food. Because they can't go out of the nest, they're just waiting the whole day. The mother bird leaves the nest in the morning and comes back in the evening. And so that baby bird is always waiting, when will the mother come? Similarly, it is said, Stanyam yatha vatsataraha shud arthaha. So stanyam, the milk from the udder, yatha vatsataraha, the young calves. The young calves, when they are hungry, they're just waiting for their mother calves to come and see when can they suck the milk and satisfy their hunger. So they're eagerly waiting, when will my mother come and I can just take the milk. Similarly, priyam priyeva vyusitam vishanna. It is said that similarly, a wife is very morose when the husband goes away from the house. And she's very eagerly waiting, when will my husband come and satisfy her in all respects. So, the nature of this baby bird, who's intensely waiting for her mother to return, the calf which is eagerly waiting to suck the udder for the milk, and the wife who is eagerly waiting for her husband to come back. Vritrasura is saying, I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you like this. That means very, very eagerly waiting. And this is not easy to obtain. This eagerness to serve the Lord is the nature of Mahatmas or great devotees. Mahatmas tumam partha devim prakritim ashritaha. So those who are Mahatmas, those who are pure devotees, those who are advanced in devotional life, they are eager to serve the Lord 24 hours. And they are not only eager to serve all the time, but they are wanting to serve with great yearning, with great longing, with great intensity. That is being described here about the citizens, Prajaha Sarva. All the citizens of Dwaraka, not just one or two, all of them were running towards Krishna. Why are they running? Because their hearts are filled with the lalasaha, having so desired. They were just desiring, when will we see Krishna again? Krishna went to Kurukshetra to participate in the battlefield, and therefore they could not see him. And therefore they are eagerly waiting, when will the Lord come back again? Now, this is very important to understand, that one should learn to develop this kind of loving affection towards the Lord. But one may say, oh, we do not have such kind of loving affection. Why is this? So therefore, the Bhakti Yoga process is divided into two kinds. The first one, which is by following the regulative principles. In the beginning stages, there is no spontaneous attraction towards the Lord. So there is the rules, Vidhi Marga. So one has to follow the prescribed rules and regulations. And therefore, it is very important, as we see in Nectar of Instruction, it is said, Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha. So niyamagraha, the word can be said niyama, means rules and regulations. Agraha or agraha, it can be two ways. One is that one neglects rules and regulation, or another is to follow too much without understanding the spirit behind the instructions. Both are not good. So one has to follow rules and regulations as prescribed by a bona fide spiritual master, as given in the scriptures, in a proper way. By that process, as we know, Ado Shraddha, Tatha Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti. So in this way, there is a progressive way of moving forward in devotional service. So as we see towards the later stage, that one can develop asakti, nishtha, asakti, bhava, prema. So those are advances. But before we go there, we have to go through the process. And it is very important to follow the prescribed regulative principles in the beginning stages of devotional life. And one has to overcome the process, overcome the stage of anartha nivritti. Anartha nivritti means unwanted things, unwanted habits. Our body and mind system have developed so many unfavorable habits which are not favorable for devotional service. Now, unless those things we do not overcome, we cannot develop strong nishtha, strong faith, steadiness in devotional life. And unless we don't develop certain steadiness in devotional life, we cannot develop attachment towards the Lord. And when that attachment becomes further and further refined, that's when the bhava and prema, they start manifesting. So Rupa Goswami says, he defines Rupanuga Bhakti as spontaneous attraction for something while completely absorbed in thoughts of it with an intense desire of love. So we are doing sadhana bhakti, which is meant to lead to spontaneous bhakti or raganuga bhakti. And how is that is being described? Raganuga bhakti means spontaneous attraction for something while completely absorbed in thoughts of it. The mind has to be completely absorbed. Actually, the yoga process for us is to absorb our mind in Krishna. For others, there are different ways they try to control their senses, mind, and so on and so forth. But for us, yoga means to absorb our thoughts in the Lord with an intense desire of love. Devotional service executed with such feelings of spontaneous love is called Raganuga Bhakti. Devotional service, this is important, that when devotional service executed in spontaneous love, it is called Raganuga Bhakti. So we can see here that the citizens of Dwarka Vasis, they were not to be told, oh, devotee is coming, please come here, Lord is coming here, please come here. They don't have to be told. Just like we have to broadcast a lot of message, our second anniversary is coming, third anniversary is coming, Janmashtami is coming. We have to tell people, not only tell, sometimes we have to force people, because we have not developed that spontaneous attraction and love for the Lord. And therefore, we need to be pushed. But as it is said, as Srila Prabhupada says, that this affection, this love for the Lord is actually dormantly present in every living entity. Not just human beings, but this is present in every living entity. But this can be awakened by Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Hoye. So Shravanadi. So starting from hearing, if one develops a lot of hearing about the Lord, then the Shuddha Chitta, the consciousness will become purified. So unless our consciousness is not purified, we cannot develop attraction towards the Lord. Therefore, this hearing process, oral reception, to receive the words about the Lord, Krishna Katha is very, very important. And similarly, Krishna Kirtan. These processes, they help us cleanse our consciousness very quickly. So, when we undergo this process, then the contamination, in this conduction, Narada Muni gives some instructions to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And he says, "My dear king, there are many devotees who become attracted first to the personality of Godhead for purposes of sense gratification, from being envious of him out of fear of him, or from desiring to associate affectionately with him. Ultimately, these attractions become freed from all material contamination, and gradually the worshipper develops spiritual love and achieves that ultimate goal of life, which is desired by the pure devotee." So, the point is being made that in the beginning, we may have different material contaminations while associating with the Lord. We may want some economic benefit. We may want some, either concentric self-interest or an extended self-interest. So in this way, we may approach Lord for various reasons. But the devotional service is so beautiful that it purifies our desire. Shrunvatam swakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtanaha hridyantosto hi abhadrani vidhanoti sruhat satam. So Lord is so merciful that when we try to hear about him, the Lord who is present within our heart, he is watching. Oh, this devotee wants to sincerely want to hear about me, sincerely wants to know about me. As soon as one is trying to know about the Lord, the impediment that we have is our material interest. We have so many material interests, and it is not easy to give up this material interest. Material interest for one's own self, for one's own family, one's own community, and so on and so forth. This material interest is so deeply ingrained within our consciousness and subconsciousness. And therefore, because of this material identification, material consciousness, we do not want to serve the Lord. And we want to enjoy independently material things. Now, to overcome that, we again need the help of the Lord. Therefore, this bhakti process is very, very superior to all other processes. So, the process of karma kanda or karma yoga or jnana yoga or ashtanga yoga, they may help us to reduce our sinful tendencies. They may help us to overcome some of the reactions of sins that we committed. But it is not possible to overcome completely rid of the tendency to do sins. The example is given that sometimes the bamboo, even if they are burnt, there are some roots are still present under the ground which will fructify as soon as there is a rain. So like that, as soon as there is an opportunity, maybe for some time by doing some yoga, some trying to follow like a jnana yogi and trying to keep quiet, not to associate with people and not to talk to opposite sex, and in this way try to control the senses. But as soon as there is an opportunity, that desire will again come back. So it's like an unhealthy man. He is not eating because he is forced not to eat, but as soon as he gets an opportunity to eat something, he wants to eat again. So in the heart, the complete cleansing of that desire to enjoy the material world does not go away very easily, even by any other process. But the bhakti process is so nice that the Lord inside our heart, He helps us to cleanse that desire. And therefore, this process of bhakti is very, very special. Kechit kevalya bhaktya. As it is said that not everyone, only a few. Kechit, only a few. Kevalya bhaktya, that means unalloyed devotional service. Only few can take up to this process of unalloyed devotion. Unalloyed devotion means to not have any other motivation, to not have any other desire while doing devotional service. The devotional service is rendered by the devotee only for the pleasure of the Lord. There is no other reason to render devotional service. Not for name, not for fame, not for material gain, not for any other reason. Now, why does this happen? How does this happen? How can someone be so confident that I should just do devotional service for the Lord and not be worried about anything? Now, that is also being mentioned here in the verse where the Lord is being described as Bhartar. That means He is the protector. Unless one does not know the Lord is the actual protector, we cannot have full faith that simply by doing devotional service, everything will be okay. As it is said in Bhagavad Gita, Kaunteya pratijanehi name bhaktya pranashyati. The Lord is telling Arjuna, you declare boldly that my devotee will never vanquish. It is Lord's promise that the devotee will never vanquish. And Lord is especially asking Arjuna to say this because Lord knows that he may not keep his promise sometimes, but he will never fail, never make fail the promise or the statements made by his devotees, pure devotees. And therefore, it is the devotees are assured that the Lord will protect me. Yogakshemam vahamiham. The Lord will always take care of me. Lord is my ultimate friend, Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam. He is my most well-wishing friend. So why should I go and ask Him, give me some bread, give me some small things, give me some wealth, give me something? The Lord knows more than what I should know, and therefore what He will give is the best thing for me. And therefore, the pure devotees, even though when misery comes, they do not go and say, oh Lord, I've been serving you so much, why are you giving me pain? Why are you giving me misery? They actually take that misery as a blessing of the Lord. Because they know Lord must have a purpose why He put me in this situation. They go on doing their devotional service without being affected by anything. Because they know the Lord is the ultimate protector. And Lord has put me in this situation for a reason. So unless we do not know that the Lord is our ultimate protector, we cannot surrender. We must have faith in the words Ma Suchaha. Because if you do not have faith that the Lord is going to protect, how am I going to surrender? I'm going to take shelter of something else. And what happens when we take shelter of something else? That is also being described here. Jagat Bhaya, the fear of material existence. The fear of material existence immediately grips one as soon as we are not Krishna conscious. And this is described in Srimad Bhagavatam that Bhayam dvitiyabhi niveshataha syad ishad apetasya viparyayo smritihi. So here it is saying, what is the cause of fear? What is the cause of fear? Because when the living entity is attracted by the material energy, which is separate from Krishna, he is overpowered by fear. So as soon as one is not under the shelter of Lord, one has to take shelter of material energy. As soon as one takes shelter of material energy, what happens is that one gets absorbed in it. So as soon as one becomes absorbed in material energy, there is fear. Because material energy is full of dualities, full of dualities. And here, Prabhupada in the purport is telling something very important and interesting to note. As we know, there are 4 basic necessities that animals are looking for. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunam. Ahara means the food problem. Ahara nidra, the sleeping problem. Bhaya, the fear problem. Maithunam, the mating or the mating problem. So there are 4 problems or which the necessities animals are trying to satisfy, and humans who are not evolved are also trying to satisfy the same thing. So the fear of not having food, the fear of not having shelter, the fear of not having a mating partner, or fear or the problem of fear. Now, amongst all of them, Prabhupada is saying the problem of fear is the biggest one. Prabhupada is saying the fear problem gives us more trouble than the others. Now, why are we considering not food problem important? If you look around, you will see the governments are trying to help people with food. Someone is trying to help with shelter and mating. Anyway, people have ways to find out. But no one is talking about the fear problem. But here it is being said that the fear problem is the biggest of all this problem. Why is that? Because the food problem, maybe, once a day, twice a day, thrice a day, at some point of time you feel hungry. And therefore, at that point of time, it may look like a problem. As soon as you eat, again the problem goes away for some time. Or maybe if you are yogi, you can control your eating, and maybe the problem becomes reduced for you. Shelter, maybe if you go not live in Boston, maybe if you go to India, maybe a shade under a tree, maybe a simple hut, or something that you can make, or maybe go into a cave and not worry about the weather so much. Maybe you can work around the problem. Mating, maybe one can find it's not an absolute necessity all the time. But the fear problem is constant with the living entity. Because of ignorance, what is going to happen next, the living entity does not know. And therefore there is fear of exams, there is fear of admissions, there is fear of job, there is fear of visa, there is fear of what will happen next. So there is constant fear because material energy, or the one who is absorbed in material energy, means absorbed in duality. Sometimes there will be gain, sometimes there will be loss. Sometimes so-called stocks will go high and it will come down. So everything is up and down in this material world. So anyone who is absorbed in this up and down of this material world has to fear what is up, will it go down? Because it's never constant. So the fear problem, because of our ignorance of how to find true happiness, how to find true shelter, true protection under the Supreme Lord, because we do not know it, the fear problem remains always. And so as soon as we associate with the external energy of the Lord, the fear problem will persist. But when we come under the internal energy of the Lord, under the influence of the Antaranga Shakti of the Lord, the fear will vanquish. Just like Ambarish Maharaj, when Durvasa Muni, a yogi, he becomes extremely angry with Ambarish Maharaj that, why did you break your fast? How dare you, before I come, you break the fast? So he is willing to use his yogic power to threaten, to become angry at Ambarish Maharaj. But Ambarish Maharaj, being absorbed in the thought of the Lord, knowing that the Lord is the ultimate protector, he is free from fear. He is not afraid. Similarly, Parikshit Maharaj, death is about to come. He is sitting on the banks of the river Ganges. And at any point of time, within 7 days, the bird is going to come and kill him, the snake bird. But he is not afraid because he is absorbed in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. He is not absorbed in the material energy. So, unless we do not absorb ourselves in transcendental sound vibration, in associating with the Lord, the fear of death, fear of old age, fear of disease, fear of loss will always exist. And therefore, the process that is being recommended here is that all fear is vanished as soon as there is sound of the Lord represented by His holy name. As soon as there is sound of the holy name of the Lord. As it is said in Shastrakam, Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. Nam Nam Akari Bahuda. Lord has many, many different names, but all of them are invested with the same potencies that the Lord possesses. And therefore there is no difference between the Lord and His holy name. And the Lord, being the creator of everything, the master of everything and everyone, the fear is fearful of the Lord. Yad bhiveti bhayam. So, the holy name of the Lord, wherever it is chanted, the fear will vanquish from there. And Prabhupada is saying we can take advantage of these sounds and be free from all threatening problems of material existence. Otherwise, to not be fearful is not possible. Therefore, somewhere or the other, if we observe ourselves in associating with the Lord by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, by rendering some form of service to the Lord, practical devotional service. Currently we have book distribution. Book distribution is a very nice way to associate with the Lord's internal potency. And not only that, when we associate with Lord's internal potency, we not only become free from fear, we experience bliss. We experience transcendental strength. So not only we overcome problems, but we experience our true hankering, longing, which is to experience the bliss. So it is very important to see that how if we want to overcome the fear, and if we want to develop the attachment towards the Lord as the citizens of Dwarkas have developed, chanting without offenses is the most important thing. So we have to gradually work upon the offenses, especially inattention while chanting. If we all work consistently on improving our chanting, then our association with the Lord, because we are not able to see the Lord and His name are same, and therefore when I'm not paying attention to Him, I'm actually offending Him. I'm inviting Him, but I'm not paying attention to Him. So the more and more we try to avoid these offenses and chant sincerely, then we will see that all sorts of material problems will vanquish. We don't have to externally endeavor. Even if there are problems, we will be not fearful of it. We will see Lord's hand in helping us come out of this all material existence and problems and worries in a very, very mystical way. The one important thing is that we should continuously go on doing devotional service. And devotional service is not to be done in compartments, but throughout the day, throughout the life. That is how we need to absorb. It is not that at a certain point of period of time that we do devotional service when it is allocated or when it is asked, but rather we should develop an absorption in some form of service. Just like how a father and mother would be absorbed in taking care of their children, even though they may be very, very far. They may not be at home, the child may not be at the home, but still the parents are thinking, oh, what should I do for them? Should I take them somewhere? What should I give for them? Did they eat? How are they feeling? Where are they now? You see, this is absorption. Just like we are absorbed in something that we relate to, similarly, our services, our hearing, our chanting, we should gradually develop such kind of absorption where in the background we are not humming the material sounds of fear, anxiety, and so on and so forth, but rather we are trying to hear what else can I do for the Lord? How can I serve my spiritual master? Am I following the instructions? How can I improve following the instructions of my spiritual master? In this way, if we constantly absorb ourselves while doing our day-to-day activities, then we will see we make quick progress. Because continuous absorption is a very important principle. And that continuous absorption will lead to an intense greed. Just like the example is given that of rivers flowing naturally into ocean. You don't have to push the rivers to go into the ocean. They naturally flow towards ocean. Similarly, as we absorb ourselves more and more in Krishna consciousness, our natural attraction, matihi, will go towards Krishna. And then we can also experience like what the citizens of Dwarka are experiencing, that great, great eagerness to see the Lord. I'll stop here and see if there are any questions or comments. If there are no questions or comments, we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatham ki jai, Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.